I've been thinking a lot about this recent chapter, and just due to how much slander their character has been taking, at times I've had to take a step back because while I may be attached to these characters, my view may be a bit jaded. I enjoy talking to my friends and cohorts about these individuals to understand perspectives and gain different vantage points, and this chapter was the perfect one for that. I talked about Sanji recently defending him and his actions and refuting theological points about him and his character and what he stands for, but today let's get a bit deeper. And we're going to talk about chapter 1005 and what Sanji did, but first, if you're here for the first time, make sure to subscribe to this channel for more content like this. Drop a like as well because that helps out the channel a lot. And so without further ado, let's talk about it. So I was asked to be more clearer and more direct about my stance on several characters in One Piece, but honestly I don't think I can do that because I love these characters, but I also know their flaws and their shortcomings, and as they do things I love them more or I dislike them more, but it depends, and Sanji's no different. I have my days where I adore him and days where I'm frustrated with him, but that's part of why I love Sanji so much. He is consistently inconsistent, but he's consistent with his stance on women. I call what he did lame. Right? And I stand behind that it was lame. And Oda made that apparent. He used another character to indeed say, yes, this is meant to be viewed as lame. But again, that's one vantage point. But this chapter should have been more about Robin. We gotta face the facts. Fans love Sanji more than they love Robin. So therefore, he becomes a topic of conversation. If people feel like he's not being handled in a way, but maybe, they just don't understand what's happening or they just don't like it, right? Sometimes things could happen where it has a meaning and it makes sense, but people just don't like how it's being executed. And I've been seeing some of that as well, which, is valid, sturdy, but doesn't really have a strong base, a strong foundation to stand on. Overall, I think this was the best case scenario after being apprehended by Black Maria, but there are so many things going on because we have individuals who love Sanji and understand this moment, while some have rid themselves of the character and expect him to fail. Others are not coming at this from a genuine perspective, and because of their love for Zoro, then that brings disdain for Sanji. Those people you do not communicate with and you do not speak with because they're all about agenda. But for others that are genuinely confused or genuinely do not like the moment for, valid reasons or valid criticisms, let's talk to them. Personally, I've had dialogue with numerous people about what happened to him and what they disliked. Most of them said, well, this has been happening and I want to see him be cool again. Cool. That's important here because I think cool sometimes could be boiled down to the individual and basically how we look at males and how males are supposed to operate, whereas a man is supposed to defend himself and protect women. But some people view it from a different perspective because then I could bring up gender roles and just how a man should be viewed in 2021, but we're not going to go that deep because then we're talking about completely different things, even though I think Sanji's character could be related because Oda's handling of him is important, right? And I think it's not chauvinistic because I don't think Sanji views himself as superior to women or men in general as superior to women, but Sanji does objectify women in a way. But I think this chapter in which he called out to Robin for help, saying, I can't do anything, I need you to help me, dispels all of that bullshit, right? So I love that. You absolutely love shit like that. So I really like Sanji, man, I do. But the dichotomy of Zoro and Sanji is one we may never escape. But let's just for a second try to understand that these characters are completely different and shine in different ways, right? They value different things. Sanji is more of an artist while Zoro is the warrior. Also, these current state of affairs is not about strength at all. So that does not matter in this situation. Yes, we understand Sanji is strong enough to escape some of these situations, but due to his values and beliefs, he doesn't. And I think for some people, that's what they don't like, that there are ways in which he could have gotten out of this, but he chose to stay there. But again, he's used to propped up Robin. And like I stated, it covers so many different things because of what's been going on with Sanji's character, but I digress. So again, being cool is something that Oda plays with in regards to Sanji. Oda said to Sanji's voice actor that he will never be as cool as he was in Whole Cake Island again. And I view it mostly as tongue-in-cheek, and I fully disagree with the notion that Oda hates Sanji. I mean, he might just be the most layered Straw Hat. I'll get back to chapter 1005 later and how I really feel about it now, because I gotta say, the more I read these chapters, or this chapter specifically, the more I love the character that is Sanji. But this week made me do something different due to the overwhelming hate and attacks that I received for not absolutely despising the moment. Like, people literally sent me a bunch of stuff saying how trash I was and that I was just appealing to the One Piece fans because I don't despise this moment and I don't see how bad this is for Sanji. What? But then it made me go back and say, why do I like Sanji? Why do I like Mr. Prince? What made me and what makes me continue to resonate with this character? I think it's about a complete package, which led me back to his introductory arc, which is one of my absolute favorites, B.D.A. Sanji's introduced as a smooth-talking, witty chef who does not like wasted food but also had a thing for the ladies. But Sanji somehow always found himself in a quagmire because of his belief, or in some cases, disbelief. Disbelief in Whole Cake Island when it comes to his crew and mostly himself, belief when it comes to absolutely never hurting a woman. I'll never forget when Sanji fed Gin after he got beaten and denied by Patty. Based on his past and things that were important to him, Sanji could never see a man starve, even if he was an enemy. With Sanji in this singular arc, B.D.A., there is confidence, doubt, womanizing, cool factor, and we can never forget gratitude. We received all this in one character who was extremely valuable outside of just being strong. Coming off of different series like Naruto, Dragon Ball, etc., you understand the value of being strong. Sanji as a character made you realize the value of having dreams outside of just being strong, being valuable outside of that, and that goes for other characters in One Piece as well. Yes, strength is important, but we understand just how important it is to be useful and valuable outside of that. Remember the things Judge said about Sanji and his weaknesses? If you don't, I'll list them here. Judge said Sanji is the failure of Germa. His skin has no armor, he busies himself with menial cooking, and has no royal pride. He is swayed by pointless emotions and exposed himself to danger for the sake of the weak. His mentality is soft. He is flawed as a soldier. Luffy then says, why is he listing off all of your best qualities? That takes us back to just what happened in chapter 1005. Skin has no armor, right? And of course for him, he was taking those blows by Black Maria on purpose because he didn't want to hurt her. No royal pride, even though Sanji more than likely is stronger than Black Maria, that he has no pride to the point that he's like, I shouldn't be getting hit like this from a woman. He has pride in regards to things that he absolutely believes in, like not hitting women, but not to the point that he puts himself on a pedestal above these women. He is swayed by pointless emotions and exposes himself to danger for the sake of the weak. Sanji went to help women that he thought was being taken advantage of. He exposed himself to dangers for the sake of the weak, constantly, right? His mentality is soft and he's flawed as a soldier. As a soldier, Sanji left the battlefield, right, to help possibly one person. Where of course for Sanji men and Zode said he's worth 1,000 men. It would have been more beneficial for Sanji to stay on the battlefield and help things out there, as opposed to sacrificing himself for one woman, especially. That sounded weird, but yeah, still he did it. His mentality is soft. Some may view it that way because he doesn't hit women. That's soft to a lot of people. And again, especially young males. And I see this a lot. Defending yourself and protecting yourself is normally at the top of the list, where it's like, yeah, I agree with not hitting women, but if they're about to hurt you, absolutely no holds barred, I will defend and protect myself, which is valid. And for Sanji's mentality, but again, these qualities are viewed as positive by none other than Monkey D. Luffy, because for Sanji, being this flawed character, this emotional roller coaster, this person that sometimes has too much pride and this person that does not have enough belief in themselves and in their crew, it provides an experience of unexpectedness. And again, the lows are there, but the highs make you in some ways feel validated for loving this character and sticking by this character. And this situation is absolutely no different. This is all playing out again, but this time he's believing in Robin. Something as well about Sanji that gets overlooked is perception and attention to detail, especially when it comes to women, from Viola to Pudding to Robin. For Sanji, even though the situation played out this way, of course it's being written, could Robin had started to feel a bit less useful to the crew? She had not been depended on in this way outside of for just information in a while, and the last time she was in Dressrosa, one would say she failed. Is it possible Sanji realized this? That's a reach, and that would be an amazing arc for us to have followed Robin to see just how she felt about her standing within the crew, where she had become more of a reserved background character. But I think even though that part is missing, right? That part in which Robin was questioning her usefulness to the crew. Personally, I think Oda did a great job of propping up Robin while putting Sanji's best qualities, quote unquote, on display. Because you could surmise, because of how Robin reacted to Sanji believing in her in this particular situation, she had been wanting this for a while. She said this made her day, to be believed in. You gotta love it, man. You gotta absolutely love it. And I have no qualms with the moment. I'm actually starting to like this moment more and more. Last but not least, happy birthday, Vince Smoke Sanji. You are truly a flawed soldier. But guys, that's it. Give me your thoughts, man. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about Sanji in this situation? I'm okay with it. I think it's good. I think it's beneficial. Could be viewed as development. He's believing in Robin, believing in somebody else. I love it. Love it. No qualms. Give me your thoughts. Make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDH. Follow me on Instagram at bragod.ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys all so much. Guys, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost.